Good morning, students. Now, let us start our chapter Origin and Evolution of Life. Today, we are going to discuss the evidences to support the chemical evolution. In the previous lecture, we had studied what the chemical evolution of life or self-assembly theory of life and various stages, how the life originates because of the chemical interactions of various chemicals on the earth's surface. आपण previous lecture मध्ये काय पाहिलेलं आहे chemical evolution of life, the theory given by Apparatus and Khade. Apparatus and Khade ने theory दिली chemical evolution of life. That chemical evolution of life suggests that the life originates because of the interaction of various chemicals for a long period of time, and through which from the simple molecules there is a formation of simple organic molecules. From the simple organic molecule, by the process of polymerization or the condensation and the reduction, there is a formation of complex organic compounds. This complex organic compound leads to the formation of proteins and the nucleic acid, and in this way the first cell, protocell or the coadjuvants are formed, which indicates the origin of the life. हे सगळं आपण मागच्या लेक्चर मध्ये प्रीवियस लेक्चर मध्ये पाहिलं ना. आता जसं आपण आधीच्या ज्या आपल्या थेरी होत्या, थेरी ऑफ स्पॉन्टेनियस क्रिएशन, थेरी ऑफ कॉस्मोझोइक थेरी और थेरी ऑफ पॅन्सपर्मिया और थेरी ऑफ अबायोजेनेसिस एंड थेरी ऑफ बायोजेनेसिस, राइट. बायोजेनेसिसच्या थेरीच्या याच्यात आपण पुन्हा दोन प्रूफ पाहिलेले होते, रेडीज एक्सपेरिमेंट and the Louis Pasteur experiment. Same here, these two experiments, these are the evidences to support the chemical evolution of life. Chemical evolution or planet Earth वर chemical evolution कसं झालं याच्या सपोर्ट मधला एक्सपेरिमेंट आहे. The first experiment is Urey-Miller's experiment. Urey and Miller, both the scientists, they performed the experiment to prove how the life is originated or how the chemicals interact and chemical evolution of life takes place. Now this is the experimental proof. Now this Urey-Miller experiment is performed in a specially designed apparatus, and that is called as the spark discharge apparatus. The apparatus in which this experiment is performed, this is called as the spark discharge apparatus, a glass apparatus. Now first see the arrangement of this apparatus. Now this is the spark discharge apparatus made up of glass. काचेचा असलेला हे spark discharge apparatus having the chamber for boiling water and for the gases. Now see here, this is the closed apparatus in which the natural energy providers in the on the earth's surface, they are similar to the electrodes. आता Urey-Millerचा एक्सपेरिमेंट कशासाठी आहे की Urey-Millerचं म्हणणं काय आहे की सगळे केमिकल्स हे एका विशिष्ट प्रोपोर्शन मध्ये इंटरॅक्ट झाले आणि त्यांच्या इंटरॅक्शन होण्याने सिंपल मॉलिक्युल्स किंवा कॉम्प्लेक्स मॉलिक्युल्स तयार झाले. Now here this is the glass apparatus. Now this glass apparatus is first sterilized and evacuated. Sterilized केलं ते, त्यानंतर काय केलं, evacuated. त्याच्यामध्ये असलेले सगळे काय असेल ते व्हॅक्यूम काढून टाकले. Now at one end it is attached to the vacuum pump. Now in the glass chamber, the gases are taken in the proportion 1:2:2. That is 1 part methane, 2 parts ammonia and 2 parts nitrogen. Now these gases, they are allowed for the spark discharge by a carbon arc. याला काय केलंय, स्पार्क डिस्चार्ज दिला, इलेक्ट्रोड जोडलेला आहे कार्बन आर्कचा. Now these gases, they are subjected for this electrode discharge for several days, and this tube is connected to condenser and the heating mantle. याला हीट पण केलं आहे आणि त्याच बरोबर कंडेन्स केलेलं आहे. are condensed and a liquid is formed. This liquid is collected in the U-tube. हे liquid कुठे collect झालेला आहे? U-tube मध्ये collect झाला. And the liquid which is collected in the U-tube, this liquid is examined after the experiment. Now see, this is the overall gas apparatus. Spark discharge apparatus in which the gases they are taken in the proportion 1:2:2. आता ही जी कंडिशन आहे ही कंडिशन रिसेंबल करते कशाशी? नॅचरल कंडिशनशी, where these electrodes they are compared to the natural energy provider, that is ultraviolet radiations, volcanic activities and the thunderstorm. नेचर मध्ये ज्या काय व्होल्कॅनिक ऍक्टिव्हिटीज होतात, थंडरस्टॉर्म होतात किंवा अल्ट्राव्हायोलेट रेडिएशन्स काय करतात? एनर्जी प्रोव्हाइड करतात. ह्या सगळ्या केमिकल्सला इंटरॅक्ट व्हायला the same condition is applied here. All these gases they are subjected for days, many days, to interact with each other with the help of this spark discharge. And then when these gases they are condensed and the liquid is collected in this U-tube, this liquid is brown colored liquid containing organic compounds. आता इथे याच्यामध्ये काय मिळतं आपल्याला? ऑर्गॅनिक कंपाऊंड मिळतात. These organic compounds are amino acids, fatty acids and glycerols. Means the simple compounds like amino acid, fatty acid, glycerols, they are formed when this brown colored liquid is examined. What is taken in the chamber? The simple molecules like methane, ammonia and hydrogen. After the detection of this liquid, or when this liquid is tested, it contains the simple organic molecules like amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol and other compounds. It clearly indicates that here there is an interaction between these chemicals when they are subjected to this electric discharge, and these compounds they interact with each other to produce the simple organic compound. So this experiment is the concrete proof in the evidence to support the chemical evolution, or how the first life is original, or the building blocks of the lives they are formed in the earth's surface. Earthच्या surface वर ह्या simple compound elements पासून किंवा simple compounds पासून इथे organic compounds कसे तयार झाले याचा experimental proof देतोय युरे and मिलर्स experiment. Now this is the first evidence. हा पहिला evidence आहे. Now see the next one is RNA world hypothesis. आता RNA world hypothesis काय आहे? Now after the discovery of the proteins, आता इथे काय तयार झाले? amino acids तयार झाले, right? Now these amino acids they are the building blocks for the protein synthesis. Amino acid काय आहे? building blocks आहे protein synthesis साठी. Proteins, formation of the protein forms the landmark in the origin of life. जेव्हा प्रोटीन फॉर्म होणं ही खूप मोठी स्टेज होती कशासाठी? ओरिजिन ऑफ लाईफ साठी. का? Because these proteins they are the building blocks of the cells, as well as protein accelerates or catalyzes the chemical reactions, because the chemical reactions they are catalyzed by the enzymes, and these enzymes are the proteins. बरोबर आहे? प्रोटीन काय करतात? रिएक्शनचा रेट वाढवतात, रिएक्शन कॅटलाइज करतात. म्हणजेच ऑरिजिन ऑफ लाईफ किंवा लाईफ ओरिजिनेट व्हायसाठी जे कंपाऊंड्स लागतात, ज्या काय केमिकल रिएक्शन्स होतात, त्या रिएक्शन कॅटलाइज करायचं मेन काम कोण करतं? प्रोटीन्स करतात. बट there is a group of scientists, or the two scientists Altman and Sage, they discovered that RNA catalyzes the chemical reaction in living organism, and for this discovery they are honored by the Nobel Prize. Altman आणि सेजनी काय सांगितलं की काही रिएक्शन्स अशा आहेत की ज्या RNA catalyze करतात, and these RNA they are called as the ribozyme. त्यांना म्हणतो आपण RNA through ribosome. Now, these are the RNA by ribosome, and when there is a formation of simple organic compound, this simple organic compound undergoes polymerization and forms a nucleic acid. So these are the RNA from the inorganic sources. Both the RNA interact and they catalyze the protein synthesis. When we study the protein synthesis or central dogma of the protein synthesis, the first step in the protein synthesis is the messenger RNA. हा messenger RNA आहे जो काय करतो, message करतो कशासाठी, for the synthesis of proteins on the ribosomes. हा RNA काय करतो, अमायनो ऍसिड्स घेऊन येतो. तुम्ही जर फिगर पाहिलेली असेल तर तुम्ही हा एक असा फिगर प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस मध्ये काढलेला आहे. This is the RNA, it carries the amino acid, and these amino acids, they are on the codons of the mRNA, because here there are the anticodons on the RNA. RNA वरचे anticodons complementary आहे कोणाला? This is the mRNA molecule. This is the amino acid. And in this way the chain of protein synthesis is started. अशा प्रकारे काय होते, protein synthesis ची chain तयार होते. Now these proteins or RNA catalyzes the protein synthesis. At the same time, this RNA or the nucleic acids, they are having the self-replicating property. ह्या RNA ला दुसरी कोणती property आहे, self-replicating. Nucleic acids, they are having the self-replicating property, that is, they can prepare or they can make their own copies. त्यांच्यासारखे असंख्य RNA ते बनवू शकतात. And this RNA, it is the precursor or template in the formation of the DNA molecule. DNA molecule तयार होण्यासाठी त्याची सुरुवात कोण करते, RNA template. And therefore, when this RNA, it is bounded by this protein coat of the cell, first cell, protein catalyzes the chemical reactions. This RNA forms the DNA as well as protein. This DNA, so the RNA becomes the template for the DNA synthesis. Now this DNA is the nucleic acid which is having the self-replicating property, and it has the property to transfer the genetic material from one generation to another, and in this way life is originated through the RNA world hypothesis. Now these are the two experiments which gives the evidence to support the chemical evolution of life. हे दोन एक्सपेरिमेंट प्रूव्ह करतात की लाईफ कसं ओरिजिनेट झालं किंवा केमिकल इव्होल्यूशन ऑफ लाईफ काय आहे, की आधी अर्थवर वेगवेगळे केमिकल्स तयार झाले, त्या केमिकल्स पासून कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑर्गॅनिक कंपाऊंड्स तयार झाले, त्या कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑर्गॅनिक कंपाऊंड पासून पॉलिमर्स तयार झाले लाईक द प्रोटीन्स, फॅटी ऍसिड, न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड. Then these nucleic acids, they are surrounded by a protein coat from the protocell, and in this protocell this RNA forms the DNA and the protein. Here are evidences to support the chemical evolution of the life, how the life is originated through the interaction of the various chemicals. Now today we'll stop here for the today's lecture.